pearl beyond price. There was this lovely old fellow, 91 years old, Stephen Sackur, has an interview called Hard Talk on the BBC World News at night, through the night. And he'd survived, this wonderful old chap had survived through the building of the Burma Railway, so notorious for the appalling suffering inflicted upon the prisoners of war, the Allied prisoners of war. And he told about how he got through and so on and so on. And I kept listening and waiting and hoping that somewhere along the line, Stephen Sackur is very good, that there'd be some mention of God, that it was perhaps his faith that had sustained him. And sadly there was none. Lovely old gentleman, quite extraordinary inflictions and happenstances where he could everyone else was killed all around him and so on. No, there was no mention of God. And then coming home on the bus last night, there's a severely disabled young woman in a wheelchair with two very nice black helpers, so caring, beautiful hair, this hair with all those knots. It takes forever to do that. Being very caring and loving, but the person is completely unable to speak and so on. But when the bus comes to drop her off she goes. She's driving it. Brilliant. And then I'm reminded of, I used to go to some Benedictine monastery in London, but none, so I'd only go once or twice a year. And at Easter there was this young woman again in an iron lung. Where do they get the courage to go on living? Where do any of us get the courage to go on living? But it's just on that thought. So this extraordinary man, really just an ordinary looking chap, 91, he looked 60 quite frankly, 70 if a day. So he got through all that, but without faith, seemingly. And then definitely the woman at the Benedictine monastery would have had faith. Well, for me, this pearl beyond price is the whole meaning of life. So if you die of cancer, does that mean you don't have faith? Or if your baby dies young, or, stillborn, or does that mean you don't have faith? No, that has to be God's will. If you live a long life, but don't have faith in God, in loving God through Christ, that faith, the faith, the reason why we are here. I know I'll go on and on about it, but there we are. Well, then you've missed the point, sadly. There is only one eternal life. There is only one God. There is only one path to God. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. We must accept other people, love God, love your neighbour as yourself. Fine. So you must love your neighbour, but not their faith. That's another discussion. It's more this question that for an adult, suffering draws you closer to God. That's how I see it. If you see it in the right way. So if God gives you difficulties, trials and tribulations, as in the letter of James, consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you face trials and tribulations of many kinds, for the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Indeed. So for an adult test, and for a child, I still find great difficulty in where God allows a child to die young. Anyway, I love you, my Lord, with all my heart, my soul, my mind, and my strength.